Hello Internet, your friendly neighborhood gremlin here, and today we're doing kind of like a fail video, I guess. Essentially it's mostly just me failing to waterscape, but I spent like a stupid amount of time doing that, and I also want to be able to stream today, because I'm having a hell of a lot of fun streaming. If you want to come check it out, we're live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, except when you're watching this we won't be live tomorrow. We'll be live again on Friday. Sorry, we will shut up about me streaming and talk about how absolutely miserable waterscaping is. It takes me like an embarrassing long amount of time to realize that you can't sort of waterscape on curves. I don't know why it took that long for me to understand the thing, but it does. And also we just get screwed a lot because everything is awful. Part of my problem may be that I moved this sort of too far over to the left, and it should be further to the right so we have more space for whatever build's going over there. But you know, this is where it is now, and I'm just trying to make it stay there. We may eventually give up on that dream, but for right now, we're hanging on to it. But what we were trying to do is add layers, so the build looks more of like a thing. It's not all flat, which was something we didn't take into account when we were building it originally. Even though I knew that that was a thing that we were going to need, I was just kind of like, oh, we'll get there later. Which, you know, probably a mistake. So I don't really know. Maybe we should just give up on this whole build entirely. Maybe it's just a mistake. I don't know. But we're gonna work real hard before we have to give up, because this has taken kind of a lot of time. Another one of the hardest parts of this is that you can't have the waterscaping on the edges. Sorry if what I'm saying doesn't match up with what's going on in the build. Maybe I should have done that, but we're just kind of talking through what we wanted. Essentially what happens is I struggle consistently. And I wanted it to go on the edge so bad. I don't understand waterscaping yet. I haven't figured it out. So cross your fingers for me and hope we get there soon. I do promise the next time that we're on Roanoke, we will not be dealing with this build. We'll go somewhere else and do something else. And just sort of leave this to sit here as the hot mess that it is. Maybe let me know down below what the hardest thing of designing your island is, if you're designing your island at all. To be perfectly honest, if we weren't making content out of it, I wouldn't be designing my island at all. But hopefully we will work through all the hard bits and eventually I'll know what I'm doing and enjoy doing it. What we're doing here is trying to make the watermouth look like not weird, like just like a straight line of waterfall that just kind of appears. We're gonna have to try and do this again on a different part of the build, but managing to catch those like diagonal curves is really hard for me. I don't know why it's so hard, but it is something that takes at least a few tries every time. But I also can't do the like holes behind the rocks so you don't get knocked back thing. So it's probably just me not being able to position my character correctly in Animal Crossing. What I'm trying to do here is I wanted to have like railings on the side of the bridge. I haven't quite decided how we're going to fix this problem, but it was going to be too wide if I had them down on the sides there, and if they were on top, they were way too tall. Also, did you know that you can't push the bars sideways, like from the narrow end? I don't understand why this is, but man is it frustrating when you have to move things yourself on the island. Jail bars are maybe not a thing we're going to use places, because apparently they're miserable. But if you do know of a way that I can add railings without having to make the bridge any wider than it is presently, because I don't want it to be wider because it's the same width as the incline, which is important to me for some unknowable reason. Leave your suggestions or tips or ideas down below. And what we're doing now is trying to make a river in way too small of a space for a river. I don't know how I've walked myself into this place where I have literally zero space to do absolutely anything, but I thought because the sort of opening of the river is on the sort of end there, that it would make sense to just kind of connect them together. I don't know if that's going to be super practical, but we are trying our best. But the good news is that it's narrow enough that you can just jump straight across it. And I'm going to call that one a win, because there's no way we're going to fit a bridge in there. I think I managed to get a little overzealous with the amount of space that I thought that we had. Somehow the island just seemed so big, and now it seems so small. Also, if you're still listening, maybe let me know what build you want me to do next. I'm just feeling like a little bit overwhelmed with it entirely. So having like a goal, I think, would be helpful. And we're getting to kind of what is the worst part of the build. Because I can fit the tree in there sometimes, but you have to stand in exactly the right spot. some of the problem might be the middle vine there. I didn't really think vines took up any space or counted as anything, but apparently they do. I also don't know if making the decayed tree mossy was a good or a bad idea. It's just something we were kind of trying out. I thought because we were in kind of a thing that feels a little marshy, maybe the tree would also be mossy. But we have made it to the absolute end of this disaster. So if you had a good time hanging out with me, you could hit that like button and leave me a comment down below. Let me know about your thoughts on the build, if the tree should be mossy, literally anything at all. And of course, if you think you might like to do this again sometime, you hit that subscribe button. And I will see y'all on Friday. Goodbye!